Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayan Nasta Presho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 31, text number 43. Dihina Jiva Bhutena, Loka Loka Manuvrajan, Loka Loka. Bhujana eva kamani, karot yaviratam puman, dihina jiva bhutina, loka loka manuvrajan, bhujana eva kamani, Karotavaratam puman, Rotavatam puman. Jiva jiva bhutena, loka loka manuvrajam. Kamani. Dihana jiva bhutena, loka loka manuvrajan, bhujana eva kamani, karotaviritam puman. Diha, on account of the body, jiva bhutena, possessed by the living entity, lokat, from one planet, lokam, to another planet, anuvrajan, wandering, bhujana, enjoying, eva, so, kamani, fruit of activities, karoti, he does, avritam, incessantly, puman, the living entity. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Due to his particular type of body, the materialistic living entity wanders from one planet to another, following fruitive activities. In this way, he involves himself in fruitive activities and enjoys the result incessantly. Purport. When the living entity is encaged in the material body, he is called Jiva Bhuta, and when he is freed from the material body, he is called Brahma Bhuta. By changing his material body birth after birth, he travels not only in the different species of life, but also from one planet to another. Lord Chaitanya says that the living entities bound up by fruitive activities are wandering in this way throughout the whole universe. And if by some chance, or by pious activities, they get in touch with a bona fide spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, then they get the seed of devotional service. After getting this seed, if one sows it within his heart and pours water on it by hearing and chanting, the seed grows into a big plant, and there are fruits and flowers which the living entity can enjoy even in this material world. That is called Brahma Bhuta stage. In his designated condition, a living entity is called materialistic, and upon being freed from all designations, and when he is fully Krishna conscious, engaged in devotional service, he is called liberated. Unless one gets the opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of the Lord, there is no possibility of one's liberation from the cycle of birth and death. I'll just read that again. There is no possibility of one's liberation from the cycle of birth and death in the different species of life and through the different grades of planets. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation again. Due to its particular type of body, the materialistic living entity wanders from one planet to another, following fruitive activities. In this way, he involves himself in fruitive activities and enjoys the results incessantly. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakya Chakshul Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. By the mercy of my spiritual master, he is kindly forcing open my eyes with a torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Pada Krishna Pasta Buddhale Shumani Tamal Krishna Goswamin Iti Namane. So we are incessantly enjoying our fruitive activities or creating fruitive activities. And that word incessantly cannot be underestimated. We are understanding many, many lifetimes. We have been very fruitive, trying to enjoy through this body, which we understand is like a machine. Krishna says, Yantra Rudhani. It's like a machine that we have, and we are trying to experience or see things, smell things, and touch things. All these sensations, the five senses, are trying to be satisfied, or the living entity is foolishly trying to please the material body and the senses. But we hear in this purport how, if by some chance or by the grace of Krishna, now this is not something that is by so-called chance, it's by the grace of Krishna or by the mercy of the devotees that we get given these books, or we get given the opportunity to hear of the wonderful opportunity that awaits the living entity if he is willing to control his senses, become a yogi, control his senses, become a little bit detached. Then Prabhupada is saying in this purport that he can, the seed is planted, the bhakti ladder grows, and even in this life he can enjoy the fruits and the flowers. So we can interpret that in many ways. You know, how is it that we have a seed within our heart and this bhakti ladder grows, and then how are we enjoying these fruits and flowers? So this is something that is on, you could say, the transcendental platform. It is not on the mundane level of, the material senses. We as living entities are spirit, soul, and we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we are a different energy. So we can experience so many things different from this body, internally. We can internally experience the fruits of our labours. It's like a reciprocation, and you could even say a relationship with Krishna, because it is a very personal thing we are doing here. It is not some impersonal void or something that we are trying to approach. We are trying to approach a very beautiful and wonderful supreme person who we've heard about through the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, has introduced us to this supreme person, Govindam. So we've been introduced to this wonderful person, and we've been told that by engaging in this process of hearing and chanting, these two processes are very, very powerful. So by hearing and chanting, we are reawakening our real consciousness, if we are fortunate. But we hear how everybody is so fruitive, trying to enjoy through these bodies. But if we really study the Srimad Bhagavatam and we are very sincere, we can see what the activities of Kadama Muni was. He had a wonderful son. He had the Supreme Lord appear as his son. But still he walked away and went to the forest again, not trying to become implicated in fruitive activities. We're talking Satya Yuga, long, long time ago. But by him becoming a detached and going internally, he was enjoying the fruits and the flowers within. The yogis we understand back in those times were able to sit there very erect and travel all over the universe while their bodies remained in one spot. So this is the powers and the potencies that we actually all have. It is not that just one or two have this. We all have the propensity to become internally very, very enlivened if we are willing to give up trying to please the senses. Trying to, pour petrol on the fire and trying to put the fire out with petrol doesn't work. So what we have to do, as Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, he is addressing our situation, and he is comparing it to a banyan tree, where the roots are up and the branches are down and the leaves are the Vedas. And he is saying that through the knowledge and detachment, we can reawaken our real selves. So this is what we have to try and endeavour to do. We are in Kali Yuga, and it is a place of quarrel and hypocrisy. So I am sitting here and I am seeing the hypocrisy in myself. I am sitting here speaking this wonderful words, but still I am very much conditioned. So this is Kali Yuga. We are sitting here, we can speak very nicely, but still we are so bound up, you could say, by our mind, body and senses. We are bound up. So in order to become freed, we have to approach those people that are free. So the Guru, the Parampara, and ultimately Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu, these are the personalities that can free us from our illusion. So we have to just humbly approach them and serve them. And then in that way they will become pleased, even though we may be so disqualified. But still, if we render some devotional service, then this is our opportunity to receive their mercy. This is what we are after. We cannot climb out of this material world by ourselves. If there was a big long rope going up to the top of the universe, we would not be able to climb that rope. So we are fully dependent on the help of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and so we should not become despondent with our shortcomings. Now, I'm just again speaking for myself. I see that I have so many shortcomings, but still I have full faith that this process of devotional service will help me become freed from my present situation. This is what we have to become firmly convinced, that by rendering devotional service to the Supreme Lord, the Lord becomes pleased. And it is not only serving the Supreme Lord, but serving the devotees of the Lord. Just being a humble servant is a very powerful way of receiving this mercy. And it can be, apparently we think it is causeless mercy, but no, you do some devotional service nicely, you do it sincerely, then you will get the reciprocation of the Lord. So this is what we are trying to do. We're trying to give up our fruitive activities in this world. And there's a very nice, the end of this chapter, the very last verse, which we are nearly approaching. It says we have to have like a pessimistic view. This is text number 48. Endowed with right vision and strengthened by devotional service and a pessimistic attitude towards material identity, one should regulate his body to this illusory world through his reason. Thus, one can become unconcerned with this material world. So we become freed from the anxiety and the fear. We become fearless. We are no longer worried about old age and disease and death. These things don't bother us because we are no longer trying to identify so much with the body. We understand that when this body takes its final breath, our consciousness will carry on. And our consciousness will take us to our next destination. So it is very nice sitting here because I am always looking at this beautiful picture of the Rasa dance. And this is really, and in the distance there is Varshan. Radharani's palace is on the hill, up in the corner. So it's a very nice meditation for us to have like this, that this is actually our goal. We want to reach that Varshan. We are here at New Varshan, and we are so fortunate to be here. We cannot underestimate our good fortune to be able to stay here. And like we've got Bhakta Ben here, he is sleeping so close to the deity. This is not by chance. Ben, it is not by chance that you are sleeping. You are one of the closest. You're on this side of that building. You're one of the closest persons sleeping next to Radha Girite. So this is the mercy of Krishna coming on us. So we should not underestimate. We should be very grateful and control our minds, become yogis. And in this way, when our final breath is taken, yes, we will undoubtedly receive the assistance of the Guru and the previous acharyas, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and our dearmost Guru Dave. They will all assist us, but we also have to try. We have to try and control our minds. So by sincerely chanting the holy names, remembering the pastimes of the Lord, and in this month of Kartik, simply praying that we may remain under the shelter of Sri Sri Radhagiridhari. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'll read the verse one more time. Due to his particular type of body, the materialistic living entity wanders from one planet to another, following fruitive activities. In this way, he involves himself in fruitive activities and enjoys the result incessantly. So we've been doing this for a very long time, and now we've been given this opportunity to leave our mind and senses behind and go to that place which is so sweet and wonderful. Words cannot describe the wonderful aspects of the spiritual realm. But if we study the books and we hear the words of the previous acharyas, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, so many previous acharyas are describing it for us and shedding light on it. So we just have to study their books and with firm faith have that conviction that this is the place that I want to go. Dear Lord.
Thank you so much for that study lecture. I just remember that when I went to Vrindavan, so that was 92, Gurudev was there, and his interaction as Sasur Maharaj, where's Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, so...
92.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there in 92.
So do you remember we went to New Vaishana, and then Gurudev said, he explained, you have to create your house.
Yes. Yes. And we built our little houses.
So then I said, so I was also putting my stones together. So I have like a residence at the foot of Vaishana. And so I'm just remembering when you said like that, I said, oh yeah, we are in Vaishana. Like that. So, and then how I am taking for granted that we are in Vaishana, and then to connect that with 92, instruction of Gurudev, that by doing so you have a residence, you are assured already that you have residence in Vaishana, Srimati Radharani's place. And I said, oh, well, I'm right here, and then I used to live inside here, and as you said, Ben is very, he's just the closest one. The closest. Yeah, and how the mercy of the spiritual master, if you take it seriously, because the mercy is there, right? But it depends on how we take it. If we take it just casually, then also just casually the reaction comes or the
benefit.
response comes.
Yeah.
As Krishna says, I reward you accordingly.
Yes.
So that means if 100% surrender, then 100% Krishna also gives back. Yeah, because love is not force, right then? Love is not force, so then when we love Krishna more than 100%, then he also gives back to us. Otherwise, if he gives us more than what we need, we might suffocate. We might, like when you give a child rice, a baby rice, but he needs milk yet because he cannot digest rice, something like that. So we can only understand that kind of statement of Krishna because if he gives more, then maybe we cannot digest. Yeah, and then another thing while we were talking through, I was wondering about how the function of the body, the mind, and intelligence and consciousness. Yeah. So then consciousness is the symptom of the soul, right?
Yeah.
And then as you said, if we are conscious about Vaishana, actually we are in Vaishana. We are in Srimati Radharani's place. So it's a matter of consciousness, right?
Absolutely.
It's a matter of consciousness. So then the function of the mind is more of material, especially because we are Christian, right? If the mind is not yet very spiritualized, that means I'm still conditionally thinking of eating, sleeping, making, attending, and etc. But then if I am fully conscious as a spirit soul, because consciousness is the symptom of the soul, therefore my duty is to expand my consciousness, to deepen, right? Because according to Krishna, mind is thinking, feeling, and willing.
It's like our awareness.
Yeah.
And our awareness of the real tattva.
Like a wings.
Yeah, our awareness of the real truth is Krishna is everything. This is all his energy. This table, the microphone, everything. Yesterday I was shoveling rocks on the road. And last year I was doing the same thing. And at a certain point, I was shoveling the rocks, and it just came into my consciousness. This may sound very bogus or whatever, but it was like, these are not ordinary rocks anymore. They're being laid on the road. They're like Chintamani stones. If not, this is just my madness, but from within I was feeling very blissful doing my service, shoveling these stones, and everybody going, oh, you poor man, it's so hot. But I was in ecstasy, just thinking, this is Nuvashan. I am fixing the road so that all the devotees can come. So this is a very pleasing activity to Krishna. And so maybe it was Krishna within my heart, but he was saying, don't see these as ordinary stones. Don't see this whole property as being ordinary. This is a level of consciousness. We can come down and we can be in an ordinary consciousness. This is Kumu, Riverhead. This is where we are. But if we're fortunate, Krishna can elevate our consciousness and we can become madmen. Isn't it? We can become mad or delusioned, thinking this land of Nuvashan is very, very special. And there's no loss in thinking like that. Everyone may criticize us, even saying, oh, this Madhu, he's lost his mind. He is saying that everything is Chintamani stones here. So that may be true. I may have lost my mind. But I've lost my mind in a good way, because I am thinking positively of Krishna, like that. So there's very many different stages, like you're saying to Ben just before. We're doing it, trying to do it with love 100%. But first of all, we have the Vaidhi Bhakti, the rules and regulations that help control us, in our life, so that we are regulated. And then that Vaidhi goes to Raganuga Bhakti. Gradually by doing it, real love does reawaken, because we start to understand that how beautiful Krishna is. That is one of his topmost qualities, that he is so attractive to everybody. So we get to realize these things gradually. When I first came here and took darshan, I didn't even see Krishna. But now we can appreciate how beautiful he is. And in this way, gradually, we can reawaken our real consciousness, and we can give up this temporary vehicle that we're in, and all this fruitive activity. Because the more we try to enjoy or please the body, then Krishna is saying, oh, you want to please the body that much, then I'll arrange for you to have the next body. So we have to become a little bit harsh to some degree, not what's the word I'm after? No, it's not emphatic. Fanatical. We shouldn't be fanatically detached. We have to be very realistic, not trying to do it for a show or anything like that, because that can happen, that you can dress in a certain way, look at me. But no, we should just gradually become detached from all the external things, because that's what's going to happen to us at the time of death. We'll lose our sight, we won't be able to walk, we'll be lying there. Our last sense will be our hearing, and hopefully we'll be able to hear the Mahamantra or the devotees' kirtan. So we shouldn't become overly concerned with all this temporary stuff, especially when we really study the Bhagavatam. You can really get it. Okay, this is what we have to do. We have to engage in some service. We have to try and please Krishna, and we have to try and please Krishna's devotees. So here we are. We're right in the pinnacle, the very centre, the centre of the hub. So we should try and make the most of this opportunity as much as possible. And even if we do fall down, still there is no loss, it is said. So we may even leave. I left for nearly 20 years. I went away and engaged in fruitive activities, but I was praying to Krishna, please, let me perfect it in this life. So he makes so many arrangements. So don't be despondent if you leave for some time, but then you'll come back. Krishna knows exactly what's within our hearts and how desperate we are to perfect it in this life. So let's moderate our activities, our fruitive activities, try and engage in devotional service, and in this way Krishna will reward us unlimitedly. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Premanandi.